Now's the best time to experience Mazda with tremendous savings at Team Mazda. For a limited time, get 0% financing on a new Mazda CX-5 or Mazda CX-90 and make no payments for 90 days. Save thousands right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
That's funny.
That is funny.
Matt Williams having lunch with Greg Louganis.
How about that? Yes.
That cool?
You got to tell the story.
It was,
Good morning. Welcome to 90s Now.
Sorry, you gotta see. So I dove a little bit in high school, and this, eventually took me to college for a quick minute. But the Olympic trials were going on for pre-88, so that'd be Seoul. We're going, so this is after LA, and obviously Greg Louganis is hugely famous, and getting ready for Seoul. And the Olympic trials were going on in Houston, like Woodlands, Texas. And so we go down there. My aunt lives in the area. We lived just north of Houston.
Yes.
And we go down there and we see all the diving. This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to be a diver, and I sucked. But Greg Louganis, after like all the competition, I mean, he banned other people, coming out and talking with everybody, and I had lunch with him.
That's awesome.
Kinda. He was very long tables.
Yes.
Right? You go and you get your food, you know, and you sit outside, and he was sitting at the end of this very long table with a lot of people that he wanted to have lunch with, and so I sat down at the other end of this very long table. I had lunch with Greg Louganis.
Makes for a good story.
He was awesome, man. He was something.
Yeah.
He was something. Hell of a diver.
Man, what a memorable lunch for him, too.
It was something.
Yeah.
And by the way, we jumped into that story because we were talking about Speedos and wearing Speedos versus not. Obviously, you had to do it. You know, I thought about that because I was about to ask a stupid question. I was going to ask, why do they have to wear Speedos? But if you wore like the swimming trunks, they would come, as soon as you hit the water, those trunks are coming off.
Oh, yeah, it happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not a sight you'd want to see.
Wait, that happened to you?
Really?
That's a separate story.
Well,
no, like as a kiddo.
But you tease about not being a good diver. I've heard stories. You were a great diver.
No, I was very average.
Come on, you went to trials in Houston?
No. To watch.
Oh.
a collegiate diver, no less.
He didn't say that part.
Self-deprecating humor. I tell you, he was great.
Barely. I quit early. But no, it was. I had a lot of fun doing it.
What was your favorite dive? And what was the highest you dove from?
That's a tricky question. My favorite dive was something actually my coach called Old Milwaukee because it always hit. It was a very simple dive. It was a forward 1.5 pike, but I always sucked it in really close to it was just a 1 meter on the 1 meter. Sucked it in really close, and so you'd bang it out for 8.5s and 9s, which was pretty impressive back in the day.
Yeah.
But 1 meter and 3 meter were pretty common. Obviously, you get into 10 meter with like Team USA. But there was a set of cliffs, Keyhole State Park in Wyoming, northeast part of Wyoming, and me and a friend of mine would go and they'd jump off the cliffs, and it was like 50 feet. And there was a good photo in one of the newspapers up there. A newspaper photographer happened to be out there snapping photos, and we both jumped off at the same time, kind of going different directions. And it was like on the cover of the paper. And I said, "Yeah,
we gotta find that. That's so cool."
I've looked for that forever. I don't know where.
Opportune moment.
I don't know where the heck that
You're
went.
brave. You're braver than I am because that's really high up. I told you this story when I went to Penn State. Currently third best football team in the country.
By the way,
they would let people, and this is a bad idea. They could briefly jump off the 10-meter platform. Yeah. So I did it, and when I hit the water, I meant to be a pencil, but my arms were out. So for the whole week, it's like the movie A Christmas Story where the little boy can't put his arms down. I swear the whole week I had to walk. I couldn't put my arms down.
It can be dangerous. You're right.
So when you jumped off the cliff, you needed to hit that just right.
No, you have to. You have to hit that exactly right.
I'm not scared of heights. I'm scared of hitting something under the water and breaking my neck.
Well, that too. Precision counts.
It can be crazy. Yeah. I tell you what, though, I quickly found out. I went to a diving camp in Texas when I was in high school down at UT, and I quickly found out how bad I sucked. I'm sitting in the hot tub because lazy me. Pre-dives, going up and down the big old platform. Yeah. Me and a friend of mine. Again, I got to be like 16, and all you hear is just like. And it's 10-year-olds from the 10 meter just ripping the water like zero splash. And I'm like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
This is a baby out here doing. I'm like, anyway.
Number one diver in our hearts.
It was a lot of fun.
And we want the scrapbook. So
we do.
We got to find
pictures.
Somehow, if that photographer's watching
or his
the show,
wife has that scrapbook somewhere.
My kids have seen it and they're like, hey, good for you, but can you put that away, please?
You mean they don't show everyone who comes to the house? This is my dad. Look at him. Yeah.
No, his kids go to school and say, "What'd your dad do?" Well, he was the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. They don't want to.
Silently.
It's fun. It's good.
That's awesome. Stories for days.
I love that.
Blast from the past.
I love that.
Yeah.
I tell you what, put on the Speedo. No, don't. And go for a swim over here. We do some cold water plunging.
For great causes.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. This looks kind of chilly over here.
Yeah, the temperature is about to take a dive. How about that?
Hey.
Yeah, it looks a little bit ominous out there. This is what we're going to see throughout the day. It's going to get a little bit more in the way of thicker cloud cover, but the real rain looks like it's going to hold off to the afternoon. And as a matter of fact, the even better chance is really going to be tonight into tomorrow morning. Now we're at 43, leveling off. But man, it was a cold start. Check it out. 38 very briefly in Baton Rouge. A couple of minutes we were there, popped right back up. But look at this. There were several areas with the light freeze on. Macomb made it down to 30. Bogalusa, Hattiesburg down to the upper 20s. How about that? And believe it or not, that might not even be the coldest that we get in this 10-day forecast. We're not issuing any first alerts right now, but drawing your attention to the fact that an active, busy, relatively wet weather pattern is going to be on the way. It all starts with this area of low pressure. It's going to act like a coastal Gulf low and move from the deep south part of Texas right towards Louisiana. Now, the good news, though, you're looking on this radar, you see the rain, but what you don't see, any watches, any warnings, nothing severe, and that's the good news of this whole thing. We really don't have a severe weather threat. We're going to keep mentioning that. So the area of low pressure is a quick hitter, mainly by daybreak tomorrow. It gets out of here. We get a big reinforcing shot of cold Canadian air, and that's going to come in. That's really going to drop those temperatures Thursday going into Friday. So you could see that big drop off in the dew points. We get the pop with that moisture on Thursday. Look at that on Friday. Dew points drop into the 20s. We haven't seen that in a long time. And oh, by the way, I think Friday could be the coldest day of the week for us. And then dew points rebound next week. Another area of low pressure is going to come in. That might even give us a better chance of rain. So let's time out today's rain, shall we? As we get to 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just a couple of light hit or miss nuisance showers. Really not that big of a deal. Not until we get to tonight. Here's midnight, and it's knocking on the door of Baton Rouge. Once again, we're going to keep saying this. We're not expecting anything severe. I need to say that because I know this does look a little bit scary. We're going to see a couple of heavy downpours, might wake up to a few rumbles of thunder, but we're not expecting anything tornadic or anything like that. And it's a quick hitter, as I mentioned. By 7 a.m., that's it. It's getting out of here. But the clouds and the moisture, they might stick around. The 2 to 4 inches that we're seeing, which is quite a bit in the way of rain, we're not going to get that all in one shot. That's actually when you add up the next 7 days, and we do have multiple opportunities for rain. Today, 50% later in the day with a high in the mid to upper 60s. Then for tonight, we're going to have steady temperatures in the mid 50s. Not going to be quite cool tonight, but the rain chances 60% before midnight, going up to close to 80 to 90% after midnight. And then after we get rid of all that Thursday morning, look what happens on Friday. I've got a high on Friday of 55, and I got to tell you, we might not even get that high. You're going to want that winter jacket, the winter coat, starting Thursday late, going through Friday. The weekend's not a washout. I would say Saturday, the better day of the two, although Sunday, even though there's a chance of rain, temperatures warm into the 70s, so factor that into your outdoor plans. 7:10, Johnny A. I was about to say Johnny A's got a beautiful sunrise behind him.
I was just grinning about your high of 55 Friday night for Liz and I.
Is that good?
Yeah, Liz and I are going to take a really quick trip down to Cozumel for the weekend, and we're going to take the boat.
Okay, so I was saying you're grinning because you're getting out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, we got a good sunrise going on. We have some decent drive times coming in from Gonzales. However, 30 minutes now from Denham to the Baton Rouge area, which we measure from Juban to the 1012. Take a look at a couple of things. I-12 backing up a little bit past Essen Lane. That far right lane, there's a school bus getting over to I-10. That's always a little bit of a slow-moving area there. Very active construction here on I-10, right beneath the interstate as they do some work and try to get some things ahead of schedule before the rain this evening and tonight. Here's a live look at the I-12 again from our WAFB, Our Lady of the Lake Sky9 camera right there in Walker at the interstate when you're looking toward Hammond, a gorgeous sunrise. All right, 9 News Now. We do it every morning, 7 o'clock on the Plus. Liz and Matt will be right back after a short break. Headlines you might have missed this morning on The Big Show. Stay with us.
Hey, a couple quick things for you before you get going, especially if you live in one part of Livingston Parish. You got a boil water advisory, and we want to kind of zoom in on the map here so you know exactly what we're talking about. Have a look here. This particular boil water advisory, because they had some repairs going on. It's a few streets in particular, and then, yes, the Sandy Ridge subdivision.
So we don't know how long it's going to take for them to lift that boil water advisory, but obviously if you are cooking, brushing your teeth, using it to bathe, they are asking all folks to boil their water until further notice. We will let you know in Livingston Parish, the Water District 2 says it is safe to no longer boil your water.
Let's get you to Zachary, Ashley Lane Regional Medical Center. They had some construction going on right there. Apparently, according to authorities, these guys broke into the facility there. Liz, guess how much money in damage they say these guys caused?
Nearly $500,000
What in the world?
4 people here. You can see they're operating machinery that they're not licensed or authorized to do. Yeah, Zachary police say these trespassers entered the construction site there at Lane Regional Medical Center, caused about $400,000 worth of damage on December 1st. If you're looking at these photos and anyone looks familiar to you, well, they're asking you to call Crime Stoppers and report those tips at 344-STOP.
Okay, don't need to spend much time on this. Just know this is going on last few days for open enrollment. Matt Venezia was live this morning. We're talking about Medicare. It opened up mid-October, but you got until this weekend if you want to make any changes. Find this story at WAFB.com and inside your 9 News app. Matt's got it all laid out for you right there. Deadline, again, this weekend.
So this weekend, what are we looking at in terms of the weather?
Yeah.
We are riding that roller coaster. Today, it's starting out chilly, but we're expecting rain this afternoon into the evening. And then what will Thursday morning look like? Well, Jared Silverman's been walking us through that. We're not done. We still have more shows to go. And then the WAFB weather app, that's a great resource. There we go.
Hey,
Brian making into the picture because we're not done yet.
They went low on that shot. I
They did.
think
You saw
they
that?
thought I was
wanted
going
to
to
show.
kind of come up from
Maybe
underneath.
do the limbo.
Yeah, keep the umbrella and the jacket handy.
See, no, I didn't go back up there. They didn't have a lot of time.
Celebrate the season with the gift of a new Honda during Happy Honda Days at Team Honda. Save thousands during our biggest sale of the year. Plus, get clearance pricing on a huge selection of new Hondas. The savings are here at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.